guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike. We have done our top 10 horror movies of 2022. I'll put the link down below, and at the end of this video, if you guys haven't checked out, we have looked at 10 horror franchises returning in 2023. But today, we are discussing our top 10 horror performances. And no, I'm not talking about that one night in the bedroom.
I'm a little upset about a bad sexual episode I had last night.
I'm talking about horror performances on the big screen. But don't worry, we've all been there. You're young. It'll happen. Number 10, getting it going. We've got Andy Matichak from Halloween Ends. I know what people say. You're just obsessed with Halloween. You even like that piece of shit that I hate and made me break my mother's bathroom window and threaten the small children in my family. You just appreciate her because she comes on your show and is nice to you assholes from time to time. And yeah, those things are true. But to be honest with you, I probably would have had her higher on the list if I wasn't worried about people saying that. I really need to do what my therapist says and stop murdering hookers. I mean, giving a crap about what other people think. Also, I should probably get a therapist to begin with. At the end of Halloween Kills, when they shut those ambulance doors, she's had her whole life blown up by this masked figure. She's had her parents murdered now, and she's the one character that's not running around Haddonfield with her shirt off trying to find a KFC at 3 a.m.
Evil dies tonight!
And the way that she walks her character through that, you can see the pain in her face, you can see the wild emotions she must be going through without her chewing scenery or going crazy or any of that stuff. I actually like the romance between her and Corey, even though I get it, like they should have focused on Michael more in a Halloween movie, but that being what it was, I got it. Whether you like that storyline or not, I still think the actor and actress crushed it. And also, Rohan Campbell is on my honorable mentions. I'll go ahead and say that now. But yeah, Andy Matichak, no matter how you feel about the film, I thought she ruled in it. Number 9, Justin Long in Barbarian. No spoilers here, just in case you guys haven't seen the movie. But the first act of the movie is a lot of talking between two characters. We don't know where the horror is going to come from or what's going to happen. They give us just a tiny taste of it, and then they just suck us right out of the suck zone, and we're in this car with Justin Long's character who's had nothing to do with the plot somehow, and he has to carry this movie all the way back to the horror. And he's so over the top and entertaining in the way that he does it that it just absolutely works. And just another awesome addition into his horror career that he puts in here. Maybe one of the funniest scenes in all of 2023 or 2022 horror movies or otherwise is when this whole horror situation is going on in this house, and he's such a piece of shit that all he can think to himself is, oh my god, extra square footage, I can sell it for more. He was just over the top. He was hilarious. He was all of us in that situation where he's like, hey, you better not come back here. I'll fucking kill you. I got a knife and a gun, and I'll totally kick your ass. Like us trying to act tough when our underwear and we hear noise at 2 a.m. in our house. His reactions to everything were so funny in that movie, and they really carried the zany shit that we went through. What an underrated actor Justin Long is to begin with. Dick Wolf on Grindr. Number 8, Idris Elba in Beast. Now, this is on my top 10 movies of 2022, and I knew I'd get some shit for it because I think it was panned by a lot of people. I just fucking thought it was a goddamn ride of a movie with an emotional centerpiece. Not only was Idris Elba totally believable going toe-to-toe with a fucking lion, in my opinion, because he's just a physical specimen, but the emotional stuff that was going on there. Like, you could sense what he was going through with his kids, where they were like, hey, you've been kind of a piece of shit lately, Dad. And he's like, I'm fucking working it out. And all of a sudden, this lion's there. The way he works out showing how much he cares about his girls to also dealing with the emotional grief of the situation that they're going through, you could see it in his face that he does not want to let them down again. I thought that movie was super tense and super exciting and super fun and action-packed, but the thread that kept it together was the story between him and his girls. And I just thought that that was an emotional performance in a kind of a ride of a movie, and I just thought he fucking nailed it. And Idris Elba, god damn it, he would have been a great fucking Bond. That's all I have to say about that. Number 7, Jenna Ortega, Scream 5. And another honorable mention that will be on this list is Jack Quaid. I thought he crushed it in Scream 5. Didn't quite make the top 10, but I just want to say real quick that he fucking ruled. Holy shit, it's Ghostface! Have yourself a year, Jenna Ortega. She comes on the scene of Scream, and all we've heard is Melissa Barrera is going to be, she's the new Sydney. Like, that's what it seemed like they were kind of trying to push us toward. And I think Melissa Barrera was great. I think she did a great job in the movie, but Jenna Ortega came on there, and she's in the opening scene of the movie, right? The opening attack. And it was brutal, but her character was tough. But what really got it for me was the scene where all the stuff is revealed about the family ties. And she's telling her, hey, this is who you are, and this is what happened with our parents. Jenna Ortega's reaction to that, her acting in that scene, I just thought was top fucking notch. And the way she's going through finding this stuff out about herself that she just found out, to also the Ghostface attacks. She's just, I mean, there's a reason why she's a fucking huge star now with Wednesday and all that stuff going on. She was just really the standout actress in a movie that had a billion things going on between Nev Campbell and Dewey and Sydney and all that. She was definitely the standout newcomer in my opinion, and I think that she was so good that she's got to make them think, hey, maybe the future of this entire franchise relies on her. We'll see, but I thought she ruled in it. Number 6, honk honk, nice fucking model, David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown himself from Terrifier 2. The man didn't speak a word the entire movie, and yet he carried certain parts of that movie. I mean, it was awesome. The casting was done well. The movie ruled. To me, as I've said before, it's the Dark Knight to Terrifiers. Batman Begins. It was very high on my list of top 10 movies of the year, but he ruled in the original Terrifier too. Terrifier as well, I should say. But the whole clown mime thing could have been so corny if it was done wrong. But the way he can go from just like being a dumbass and making you laugh and like honking shit at people and whatnot, to all of a sudden just his face just drops, like your mom when she sees your report card, or your wife when she sees how much money you lost gambling. I have a lot of trouble with women making this face at me in their life, but never in the bedroom. Right? His face just drops and the emotion sucks out of it, and he goes to terrifying and fucking evil. He's so good in that, and in the kill scenes where he's doing the gnarliest shit ever, the way he runs out of the room and comes back with the bleach like a happy fucking child who's just been made to clean his room but found a toy has been missing for 6 months. It's just hilarious, and you can't help, you're watching the gnarliest shit you've ever seen in your life, and yet you're laughing your sick fucking ass off while you do it. And he does all this with no words. Just an amazing performance, the scariest and funniest bad guy we've had all year. 5, Ethan Hawke as the grabber in The Black Phone. As you guys know, I was disappointed with The Black Phone after I saw it, but it's because my hype level was way too high for the movie. I thought that the trailer just gave away all the best dialogue, or the trailers had given away all the best dialogue from Ethan Hawke in that movie, and that was the big attachment I had to the movie. I didn't like that. I thought it got kind of corny with like the kids fighting and stuff and teaching each other how to fight. But one thing that remained constant throughout the movie was Ethan Hawke's character. Not his fault at all that they gave a lot of that dialogue away in the trailer, but he carried that movie in my opinion, and he wasn't on screen enough. He needed definitely more chances to shoot a little bit of scenery. I feel like he needed a little bit more of the focus on him. And I get it, you want to keep the monster in the shadows, but this is like an American Psycho type of monster, you know? When he shows up and talks and you don't know what he's gonna do, and he's lying to the kid, he's like, oh, I won't hurt you, I'm not gonna hurt you, and the kid knows that he's lying, and when he goes upstairs, and by the way, shockingly weirdly muscular body that he has. When he takes off his shirt and he just sits there with the belt and waits in the kitchen, weirdly muscular for Ethan Hawke. Did not see that coming. I'm kind of having a hard time not looking at you now, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the most likable, lovable people in Hollywood, and when he like breaks bad like that, it's shockingly twisted, and he's fucking horrifying. Did such a good job in that role, and I knew that he would. I would really love to see more of him in that, doing that kind of character. Number 4! A newcomer, Lauren Levera, also from Terrifier 2, one of my favorite Scream Queens, and she's only been a Scream Queen, at least as far as I know, in one movie so far. She was an awesome hero. She's a super badass. Absolutely loved her character. Was entertaining every second that she was on screen. Believable when she had to be a badass. Believable when she was a caring sister, daughter, or friend. Just amazing addition to the Scream Queen category, and I cannot wait to see what she does next. They found a gem with Lauren Levera. Number 3, and I thought this might be by the end of the year my favorite performance overall in horror because it was so damn good, but it falls to 3. Very respectable. Ralph Fiennes in The Menu. Holy hell, man. He was so intense, and I love that kind of bad guy. I think that was the beauty of Christian Bale and American Psycho. The kind of bad guy who's utterly fucking unhinged beneath the surface, but on the outside of the surface he's calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting the words that he wrote down, and the whole crowd goes so loud. Time's up, over. Blau goes, okay, I'm done now. No, but on the outside he's like stern and super focused and super disciplined, and when he does that clap, man, your skin crawls. He was scary, but he was also entertaining, and the way he would dismiss people or make fun of them, it was actually funny at times. So he was just all over the place, and one of my favorite types of horror characters, the kind who are just completely fucking batshit cuckoo bonkers underneath the surface. To me, it was an Oscar-worthy performance from him, and he's the kind of guy who would get an Oscar, so I wouldn't be surprised. No, it's horror, so they'll fuck him just like they did Tony Collette. I don't know, it's Tony Collette, but I like to say it like that. Number 2! Wrong kid died! My number 2 favorite performance in horror of 2022. And yes, maybe, just maybe, part of it is honorable based on what happens to his character in the movie. Maybe it is a little bit. But it's David Arquette. It's Dewey from Scream 2022. And the reason is, look, he completely change that character. That character went through a bunch of different things, and he helped them change that character. There was things Radio Silence wrote in there, and he's like, I don't know, I just don't like this. Like the alcoholism stuff. They wanted to focus a little bit more on that, and he was like, I just don't see Dewey as an alcoholic. It just doesn't fit the character to me. This is the 5th movie in the making now that he's played this character, and they've tried to kill him off several times, and he's just been so good and charismatic that they couldn't do it. He died in original scripts to Scream 2. And they finally pulled the plug here, and it's not, look, he's only in half the movie, I understand that, but without him, that movie does not work. It just doesn't, man. He is the emotional anchor from the beginning of the movie to the end of it, even when he's not around. And just the scenes, the intense scenes when he's talking to Gail outside, and they said they had to film those multiple times because there was just tears flowing out of his face because of their personal past and all that. You can see that in the performance when he's talking to her. They really add extra layers to his character and what a protector he is and what a good person he is and just how broken he is by all the stuff that's happened to him. I love what they did with the character. I love how the look of him now just matches his whole personality at this point. And just the way that he goes out with was like, who cares, Dewey? And he's like, I do. And just the way that he delivered that line, man, it's fucking heartbreaking. Because he's always been the one that gives a shit about everybody. He's always been the one that gave a shit about Woodsboro and everybody there. And all that was just encapsulated with his performance, man. He just fucking crushed it. And for a guy that started out as like this goofy sort of comedic relief in the character, to have his arc go all the way to what it was in Scream 5 and to him be like the fucking sheriff. And I just don't mean like the corny sheriff he was in 4, but just the attitude of like the John Wayne type when he's walking down there putting the bullets in his gun. He went, literally, we watched this character grow before our eyes from something that got made fun of in Scary Movie as Deputy Doofus to this supreme badass, both emotionally and physically, in Scream 5. Man, he crushed it. Absolutely one of my favorite David Arquette performances of his career, and he's an underrated ass actor. Not an underrated ass actor. An underrated actor. And, you know, if you're an ass actor, there's nothing wrong with that. Number 1, my top horror performance of 2022 is going to be Mia Goth in Pearl. Now, she was great in X. She was great in X as well, but in Pearl, man, that was, wow. She deserves an Oscar for that performance. She really does. Jack Torrance in The Shining, I mean, she fucked a scarecrow, all right? If someone is willing to fuck a scarecrow for their art, then goddammit, they deserve a little statue. From the beginning of the movie, watching her character, her psyche break and become what it became, she was fucking frightening. She was haunting, scary as shit. An amazing performance from her. And then at the end, when it's frozen, when they ask her, Ty West asks her to hold that pose where she's smiling and there's like tears coming out of her face. Just put the icing on the cake, man. Give her the fucking award. Best horror performance I saw in 2022. I cannot wait to see what she does in Maxine, coming out probably in 2023. Guys, those are my top 10 favorite horror performances of the year, but some honorable mentions that almost made the list, including Mark Burnham from Leatherface, the character who played Leatherface. I know, not a role with a lot of acting and stuff like that, but I just think all the praise that we give James Jude Courtney and things like that, well deserved, but I think Mark Burnham crushed it as Leatherface this time around. Brittany Snow's character in X, she's the blonde in X. I thought she was great. I think she was awesome comedic relief in that. I thought she did a great job and was kind of unheralded. Lee Pace in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. He needed to be in that movie more. That's all I'll say. That movie desperately needed about 25 minutes more of Lee Pace in it. He was hilarious. He's always been one of my favorite actors. I think he's one of the most underrated actors out there, and he brought something really special to that movie. I'm not going to be able to say this right, but the Hellraiser reboot, Goran Visniznik. This fucking guy. very Al Pacino-ish, and he brought something really neat to this movie, and he really gave it all in his performance. I thought that character was really cool. Joseph Winter in Deadstream, he carried the whole movie. Ryan Reynolds Buried style, the vlog thing that I did, he was entertaining. I can't wait to see what this guy does because I think he's got a big future. Isabel Furman, I so badly wanted to get her in this list because all they went through to make Orphan First Kill the way it was and have her still be believable at that age, and she just crushed it, man. Creepy as hell, funny in the right moments, awesome performance by her. We already talked about Jack Quaid, and then last but not least, Annie Hardy, the character from Dashcam. Yeah, definitely don't agree with like 99.9999% of what this human being says online and shit like that, and or the character at all. But you got to give it up that performance, man. She freestyle raps, she does music, she's over the top, she's as obnoxious as she's obnoxious as shit, and you hate her guts at times, but I thought she was really funny at times too. So just giving credit where credit's due. What did you guys think? Who did I miss? Please comment down below. I love your all's fucking faces so much. And if you enjoy lists like this, if you enjoy deep dives into horror, if you enjoy getting ready for Scream and Evil Dead Rise and all the awesome shit we're going to get, please consider subscribing because you'll get a assload of that here. A whole metric fucking assload of it here. So click the bell as well because YouTube doesn't like to tell people we exist. So if you enjoyed this and you want more stuff like this, please don't forget to click subscribe and the bell. And also click and like on the video helps us a bunch. So I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to stop asking for things and go away now. Give me what I want and I'll fucking go away. Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not. Yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends, Halloween never ends, Halloween never ends, yeah.